Chuck Todd is NBC's political director and moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, good morning. Good to see you. Let's start right there with the coronavirus relief package. 4.6 million cases in this country, a steady climb, as we can see, through the month of July in deaths in this country as well. Meanwhile, the GDP dropped 33% year over year in the second quarter, and that $600 a week unemployment check went away for a lot of Americans at midnight on Friday. Do you sense that Congress feels the urgency that so many American families, like the ones we just saw in Kelly's piece there, are they reflecting the urgency of the American people on this?
Look, it's hard to say that they are, and it's hard. Look, in fairness, I don't know if I would lump them all together. I mean, the Democrats passed a bill a couple months ago, so I think they would argue that, hey, they met the urgency of the moment, and they would argue that it's the Republicans that haven't met this moment here. And that's been part of the problem, is you have a Republican Party that's very much divided on this issue. You have some old philosophical divides that think maybe there's too much spending going on, worried about incentives that this comes in, and then, of course, there's just the president's erratic behavior at times, which gums all this up as well. But let's, I don't know why there is an urgency, Willie. I mean, think about what we learned Thursday, right? The economy contracted by over 30%, and that was with all these benefits. What would the economy have looked like without it? So, I think in about a week, if they haven't done anything, the urgency will be there. I mean, we already have, 10% of people saying that they don't have enough of food in their house. 25% of people in one survey said they've already missed a rent or mortgage payment. And again, these benefits just expired Friday.
Yeah, and those unemployed Americans, tens of millions of them left in the middle with nothing right now. Chuck, let's talk about the president's tweet on Thursday where he asked the question of whether this election should be delayed. He tried to walk it back a little bit, then walked into it, as he often does again. We served Republicans a rare occasion where they sort of dismissed this out of hand. They came out pretty strongly across the board. There were some who were saying, oh, they're just trolling. He's just trolling you in the media. But Senator McConnell, for example, and many other prominent Republicans said this is not happening. We're going to have the election on November 3rd. Forget what the president said. What did you read into, first, the president's comment, and second, the Republican reaction to it?
Well, I mean, look, if he was winning, would he have said it? I mean, it's a pretty obvious answer. The answer is no, right? I mean, you only complain about the rules. You only when you're losing. You don't complain about them when you're winning. So let's look at it that way. But Willie, the damage has been done. I mean, the amount of questions that the president has used the bully pulpit to raise about election integrity, I think has already undermined the outcome here. And whether it's 10% of the population that won't believe it, 15, 20, 30, we don't know what that number is yet. But there's already now going to be a chunk, thanks to the president's own conspiracy theories on this. And then here's the other part of this, Willie. He's undermining the Republican Party. In the state of Florida, for instance, mail-in voting is among one of the ways that they make sure those snowbirds vote. So it is stupid on a strategic front, but it is deeply dangerous for the democracy.
Yeah, the president has already declared this election rigged based on false information. Chuck, thanks so much. We, of course, will be watching this morning on Meet the Press when Chuck talks to a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, Admiral Brett Giroir.